So I'm going to start with I struggle a lot with trying to find purpose in stuff. It's not a really bad issue. It's not something that I really struggle hard with. Like, oh my God, I can't wake up in the morning. But it is something that kind of eats away at the back of my mind sometimes. Um, I've found that unless I always have something to do and always kind of feel like I'm working on something, I I don't want to say I get bored, but it's more like I feel like I'm wasting my time. It's something that I've kind of struggled with for a little bit, especially after getting out of college. And it kind of is a stark contrast to what I remember when I was growing up as a kid. So, a little bit of backstory for my childhood. I was homeschooled. I had a lot of free time. I managed my time really well because the way that we did homeschooling, I was basically given my tasks for the week. I was like, my mom was great. She was like, hey, here's all your stuff that you got to do. Make sure you get it done by the end of the week. I'll grade it for you, and that's it. So what would happen is I would wake up in the morning, I'd get all my math done, I'd get all my other stuff done, and I'd probably be done on average around like 2 o'clock after working on stuff from like 8 o'clock in the morning ish to then, and that was about it. The rest of the day was free. I could do whatever I wanted. It was awesome. I have zero complaints about it. Side note: if you're looking at homeschooling your kids, I'm gonna make a video on that eventually, talking about kind of like how it worked for us. I can't speak highly enough about it. It was great. Um, so growing up, I had like a lot of free time, and I would spend a lot of my time just kind of relaxing. Like I would work on models and stuff. I had a bunch of hobbies. I pretty much kicked back around the house and stuff. I helped my parents with maintaining the house and everything. Of course, we had chores and stuff like that. But uh, aside from that, like a lot of my time was spent just kind of either gaming on the Xbox, or I had Magic the Gathering that I was into, or I'd have other games and stuff that I'd play with my dad on like tabletop, or I'd read, and I always had a little bit of something, and I was just kind of at peace with that. It was kind of nice. And then as I kind of grew older and stuff, I hit a point where, okay, I was kind of going crazy in the house. So I went and got my first job. I was working at Jimmy John's for, I think I put like a year and a half into that job, and it was great. But that was my first experience of always having something, like always having something to do. I was technically part time. I'm pretty sure I worked 47 hours a week there. Don't quote me on that because I wasn't actually logging it, but it definitely felt like it. I would come in on my days off because people would call in sick, and I was the one that people would go to, and pretty much lived there. I'm pretty positive. Like I spent more time at the shop than I did sleeping at home. So it was pretty crazy, but at the end of the day, it was good. It paid the bills and stuff, but it was my first experience of always having something kind of like more important than just not really doing anything. And I'll admit I kind of let myself get consumed by it because it was kind of nice, to be honest, to have something that I knew that I could do that was stable. Well, I mean, it was awesome being paid for it, but that really wasn't the motivation for it. It was kind of nice to have people that looked up to me and counted on me, and it was kind of nice. Fast forward to college. College was very fast paced. Obviously, I was taking credit hours and stuff. I was at 15 credits, and then realized that I really couldn't balance that if I wanted to get a job. So I went down to 12 credits a semester and balanced stuff out. And I was working at the time, so uh, I was always having homework. I always had a job to go to, and it was just nonstop. And then, God, fast forward to my senior year. Senior year was probably the busiest one that I had. I had a internship that I worked about 20 hours a week at. I had full time college, which I say full time, but one of our classes was really just more of a project that we didn't have to really worry too much about. It was School really wasn't taking up a lot of time. What was taking up a lot of time was the esports group that I was working with at the school. I took over it from a friend of mine at the time. He was getting out, and he's like, "Hey, I don't got anybody to run it." I'm like, "Shit, dude, send me in." And it was great. It was awesome. It was awesome, but I had so many late nights, and by that I mean nights up till 2 or 3 in the morning, putting out fires that people started, or organizing teams, running stuff. It was crazy. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it was an utter whirlwind, and we did a lot. We did a lot of stuff. We hosted the first LAN that the school had ever had in the history of the school, which is crazy. One of our teams was picked up and sent to Red Bull Campus Clutch, which I got to go to Kansas City for on Red Bull's dollar, which was incredible. Just we had a lot of really crazy, awesome experiences that I really don't think I'm ever going to get a chance to do again. So it was really really cool. But uh, at the end of it all, when I graduated, when I got out, I didn't have homework to do anymore. I couldn't run the esports group anymore because it's a student only organization. So I graduated and I'm like, well, okay, pass the torch on to the next guy. And he did really good with it. I would say I still know him. I still talk to him. So I was really happy to see that. But it all just kind of stopped. And it was really, really weird because for 7 years, I had gotten used to always having something calling me, always having somebody saying, "Hey, I need help with this." Always having something more than just me kind of messing around is the best way that I could say it. And it was really, really painful to transition back to just nothing. It was weird. And I will say that I struggled probably for 3 to 4 weeks just trying to figure out like what do I even do with my life now, because at a certain point you kind of get caught up in not really like getting distracted with stuff, but more like getting tunnel visioned onto what you're currently doing and kind of forgetting about other things that you might be interested in or things that you are actually driven to do for yourself. It's really weird. So when you're in school, you always it's okay. You know what? We'll say it this way: you're playing a video game. You're playing Destiny. Destiny has a system where you have quests and you have goals and stuff, but the game always kind of tells you like, hey, the next quest is here, go here. Next quest is here, go here. Next quest is here, go here. And you're just following that POI every single time. Then you have, let's say, Guild Wars. Guild Wars is similar, but it's much more open world. You can say, I'm going to go level my character. I'm going to go progress the story. I'm going to go hunt down this artifact. And you can pick those quest lines and it'll tell you like where to go, but you're doing it kind of at your own pace and you're choosing what to do. That was kind of the difference between college, but college was like the Destiny style of like, you have to do this thing, this is going to be next, you're going to go to this thing, okay, then you're going to spend time doing this and blah blah blah. Next thing you know, you just kind of space out and go on autopilot, and next thing you know, you're like done. You're not really putting a whole lot of yourself into it. It's just kind of jumping through hoops. Once that ends, you realize like, wow, I was working to get by just so I could get through college. I was doing homework just to get through college, and now that's done, I haven't put any time into something that I actually wanted to do myself. And having to figure out what you actually wanted to do at the end was actually kind of terrifying because it's like, wow, I spent 4 years not even really listening to myself, which, to be fair, in hindsight, at least for my experience, I really didn't have time to. It kind of sucked. So now you're out of college, you're trying to make up for lost time, you don't know what you want to do, and all of that kind of just condensed into one big feeling of just not knowing what to do. And then it kind of led into a feeling of every second that I spend not going towards something that I want to build or do is a waste of time. Because I've already internalized that I wasted 4 years doing other stuff. And now I don't want to repeat that. But then what gets worse is like you start to make decisions of stuff, and then you feel like, well, is this the right decision? Is that the right decision? I've kind of seen some memes online where this is just like your 20s. This is just what you experience in your 20s. Every decision you make could end your life, or build your future, and then it inevitably is always wrong. So it's hopefully this is what people are talking about, and this is just normal, but it's really weird. So how have I kind of dealt with this? How have I kind of coped with this? Maybe you guys can get something out of this too. Hopefully, if not, I'm sorry for just kind of like going off on a story that doesn't matter. But what I've ended up doing, so I work full time. I have some hobbies, as you can tell behind me. I got anime. I got books that I have and haven't read. I got to read those two. That's Shakespeare. Those two stories I really like, but like I haven't got into it. I've played D&D. We got stuff. I got stuff that I can do to pass the time, but trying to balance just time passing with a goal for your life, with a career. There's three things that you can really focus on that I've kind of seen that kind of help. Religion is a given. I will be entirely honest. Like I'm Catholic. I'm Christian. I have been that pretty much all my life, and there have been a lot of times where I felt lost, and saying a prayer or two and just sitting in silence is just incredible. And next thing you know, you feel centered again. And I can't really explain it, but for those of you that maybe have the kind of like the same faith, you probably understand where I'm coming from. For those of you that really don't understand that, or like kind of where I'm coming from that side, I might make a video kind of explaining that, because I've had some experiences, at least being Christian, that I can say like have made me not want to ever change to anything else. So, um, getting back to it though, balancing time and balancing goals with stuff, it's kind of been weird. First, when I graduated, I decided to focus on a career. I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to find a job anyways, because I don't want to be broke right out of college. Granted, I don't have any student debt, which is great. That's a blessing, but I still got stuff I want to do in my life, and I don't want to retire at 65 and still have to work. It's a nightmare. So I've been focusing on a job, finding a career. Job market is terrible, so that's been kind of depressing trying to work on that. But it's something that's kind of helped. I wake up in the morning now, I got something to kind of do all day, and then I come home. And then I experienced after 2 weeks or 3 weeks of doing that, that man, I come home and I really don't feel like I've accomplished anything. I go to work, work pays the bills, but it's just somebody saying like, "Hey, do all these tasks." Okay, cool. I guess I'm building my resume, but like I really don't feel a connection to it, because it's not necessarily something that is my goal and something that I am building. And not to say that jobs are bad and never get a job. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's just kind of something that I've been feeling deep down, where work is, it can be fulfilling, but it's really hard to get a job to fill the spot of wanting to create something and do something, because at the end of the day, it's not your project that you're really fulfilling. It's, I'm doing this so that I don't get fired. So I'm going to do my best to do it, but I'm doing it so I don't get fired. And that's kind of like how the difference is with that. So how did I fill that void when you get home? Well, I started with trying to pick up saxophone again. I used to play saxophone a long time ago. I got pretty good at it. I stopped because I really didn't enjoy it. And then I kind of realized like, wow, it was kind of nice to be able to have at least something that I could do to kind of express myself. It was more of a talent. I sing, I love singing, but like sometimes I really don't want to always do that. Let's do something else like that. So I picked up saxophone again, and that helped for a little bit. It gave me a little bit of something else to do. But then I remembered like, wow, I really hate this. So like I kind of stopped doing that. Um, I game a lot. It kind of helps to pass the time, but again, it's really not a me creating thing. That kind of gets into the thing that I had said previously when I was growing up, that it passed time and I was content with it, but it was just kind of relaxing. And after a period of time, it kind of felt like, man, I'm just sitting here gaming. I'm just wasting my time again. Like, yeah, I'm getting better at Valorant. Like, okay, my rank is going up, funny number goes up, but like, it really doesn't feel like an accomplishment anymore. And that was the feeling that really kind of was impending on me. So I had to find something else. Uh, this kind of gets into the segue of what I'm doing now. And you don't have to do the same thing, but if you find at least some inspiration from this, I really hope that you're able to take it and do something with it. I don't know what, because that's for you to decide, but I really hope that you can kind of expand on maybe something that you're looking at changing or fixing in your life. So I ended up looking up how to start a business, enter sponsorship. I started an esports organization, less of an esports org, more of an esports league. We do community events, tournaments. I'm trying to get coaching stuff set up. We are pretty much building an esports community. If you want to check it out, it's called LAG Esports or Legacy Ace Gaming. You can find all the links below. That's all I'm going to say on that. Definitely check it out. We have other stuff out floating around on Rumble and stuff, and it's cool. I'm very passionate about it. Uh, I want to turn that into my full-time career of hosting esports stuff and building a community and really just teaching people how to play and how to get better. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. Why? I've got a lot of really good experiences with gaming. I've met a lot of really good people, and then when I was in college, I got a lot of awesome experience just going to events and going to tournaments, going to Kansas City on somebody else's dollar and competing, which was an incredible experience that I want other people to see. And I decided, you know what, let's just try it this way. So what I did in my free time was I started doing some research, I started looking some stuff, and I started just kind of making it happen. It's going slow, I'll be honest. Dude, we've had some failures, that's for sure. We started as a nonprofit, figured out that's not going to work. deleted the business, started over as an LLC, started this January, and it's been going good. I'll be entirely honest. We've had a lot of really good opportunities show up, made a lot of awesome connections, hosted some events and everything, and it's going steady. It's been really good. But um, what I'm trying to get at with this is that is one of the things that has really helped me to kind of balance myself and balance that feeling of emptiness. Because, like I said before, unless I'm creating something or doing something, or I at least have something that I can say, like, hey, I've been at least working towards a goal rather than just on autopilot again and doing the destiny mode of, okay, I have to go into career now, I have to finish project to advance career, I have to job hop to get new career point. It's just default life is the best way that I can refer to it as, where it's just focus on career, get better job, improve job. It feels empty and it feels not quite there. If my boss is watching this, please don't fire me because I still need my job. But um, I hope you can at least kind of relate with what I'm saying, or at least kind of understand it. I'm trying to explain stuff the best that I can because it's really weird, kind of getting feelings and stuff into words. But I don't know if this is something that you guys also feel. You don't have to start a business. There's other stuff that you can do. For example, painting. I painted models for a long time. I thought that was great. I ran out of time for doing it because it took me a long time to do, and I have other stuff that I'm focusing on now. But painting models was another great thing to do because, again, you're creating something, you're putting yourself into something. You can just sit back, relax, put on some music and stuff, and just make something. And then you're building a talent, you're building something you can sell. It's really cool, and it's awesome. That helped me a lot when I was growing up and I was in college and didn't have really much else to do, so it was great. um Shit, dude, I mean, you can get into woodworking and stuff. I've seen a lot of people actually decide to take up welding and then turn that into a career. Like, there's some crazy things that you can do. So end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, if you feel like you're running on autopilot, it's probably because you are, and that's not a bad thing. Because from what I've seen, we're kind of programmed to do that through college, through high school, through a lot of things. You get so caught up in being busy, you get so caught up in just what is the next point of interest, what is the next goal, what is the next thing. Oh, this person says I should do that, I'm just going to go knock that out real quick. And next thing you know, it's been 8 hours, you're exhausted, it's the end of the workday, and then you go home, you just want to die. And it's just, rinse and repeat. um, People kind of tend to complain about how work sucks and everything. Like, yeah, it does. I'm going to be honest. Like, somebody described it to me the best way that I've heard it, where it's just the most inconvenient 8 hours of your day. Then you go home, and then your day starts, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it kind of hits the nail on the head right there. So yeah, that's just kind of everything that I've been really thinking of. I hope that if any of this sounds like you, know that you're not alone. Know that there are other people that are experiencing what you're experiencing. I hope that maybe my story here is kind of like help resonating with some people. We'll see. Um, and then, if you, like I said earlier, if you're on autopilot, don't be scared of that. That's fine. It's hard to break out of, though. So, kind of fair warning. When I was first kind of getting into doing stuff, figuring out how much time to put into this new project of yours that you're gonna be doing, or figuring out how you're gonna balance this with other stuff that you have to do, is really weird. Figuring out how much time you're allowed to put into something before you just get exhausted is also weird. It takes some time. Don't be scared of it. Put a little bit of time in, maybe an hour a day. It sounds like a lot, but then once you start doing it and you realize, oh, I really actually do have an extra hour of time lying around. Maybe put the phone down, stop scrolling on Instagram or Twitter for an hour or so. Do some push-ups, do something, just kind of get moving. Maybe it's fixing your sleep schedule. It's hard. I've had some friends that have struggled with that, but like, if you put some time into it, that'll start you on the next road to, get into where you want to go. It's crazy. So um yeah, that's basically everything. We're at about 20 minutes again. God damn, dude, these freaking videos keep going so long. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut it there. Info for Leg is down below if you're so interested to kind of check it out. If you want to follow me on anything, I really don't post a whole lot aside from just kind of rambling videos like this. So I guess I'll link everything also in the description. My name is Artos. My opinions here are my own. Have a good one, guys. Much love. Artos signing off.